Welcome back, folks. It's another great day here on Valiant Renegade. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Share this sucker out on the social medias. And do leave a comment before you head out today. Because this is where Hollywood comes to get put through the business and financial lens of reality. It's time. Renegade Online. Sorry about that. I've got every time I load a Fox window out there, it immediately goes into running an ad. So I'm starting the show. I'm just loading up a window to bring up a news article. And then the ad starts blasting in my ears. Sorry about that. Good to see everybody. Welcome back to another fine edition of the Renegade Nation here. We are live at 5 on not live at 5. What am I saying? Well, it's 5 o'clock if you're in California. Used to saying that on the main channel. Welcome back here again. And appreciate you guys being here and joining us on YouTube. I forgot to switch over my YouTube backstage. I need to do that real quick so I can get over to Renegade Nation to pull that up in the background. Bear with me 1 second here. I still had it over on the main channel. So weird. Why does it do this like this? Okay, goofy. You know, I got demonetized on the show we did Monday with Danny Ann because one of the clips I played, I didn't realize it was a real song. I thought it was an AI song in one of the funny Donald Trump AI clips. But apparently it was like a real song. So I wound up getting copyright strike. I was like, damn it. Go figure. That's my luck. Appreciate you guys being here. 150 people as we start in the show tonight. Thank you for joining us. And of course, unfortunately, the nature of the show is very sad because we have an individual who lost their life today, and we'll talk about the details of it. And obviously, I've made no bones about my opinion thus far, based on all available evidence that we have, which again is fairly not 100% of it, but video evidence is pretty compelling that. Again, tragically, somebody lost their life today because they decided to engage in, let's be frank, some very stupid activity and made some very stupid decisions by everything that we can see. And I'm going to walk folks through it out there and we're going to talk about this because this is, let's be frank, the Democrats have engineered all of this. They are, as the party apparatus is concerned, they are the ones here to be blamed. And yes, I see people out there, I've been seeing it all day, people making Darwin Award references. You're not wrong. And it's a damn shame because this was a 37-year-old woman, a mother of 2, I believe. And people are lamenting that law enforcement shot this woman and that, well, it's always unfortunate when there is an officer-involved shooting. Nobody jumps up and down and celebrates it. But the reality is, and we'll go through it, from everything I've seen, this individual maybe should have thought about her 2 children before deciding to engage in some traditional Democrat voter activities, which is basically to obstruct, resist, assault, what have you, law enforcement officers because they think they have a right to, because they don't like what they're doing. So we're going to walk through a variety of aspects to this tonight. And so everybody in this audience, if you don't know, the details, if you don't know how to have the conversation with people out there that are saying that federal law enforcement officers, ICE agents, quote unquote, murdered this woman, or they were wrong. You're going to be armed with a lot of valuable information, as we always try to do here, to help educate folks. And there's so much on this that I want to talk about. Honestly, coming into it, I'm so scatterbrained because I don't even know where to start. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have had to have happened. But from everything I've seen, sorry, this was a clean shoot. And we're going to show you, regardless of what you've heard discussed. And again, most of the people that are saying that this was overreach or murder or whatever, the problem is most of these people do not understand the laws involved here. They don't understand the legal authority. They don't understand police procedure. They don't understand police training. And they're living in fantasy land is the bottom line. And if you're one of those in the audience tonight, I'm going to encourage you to stick around and let me help explain this to you. Because there has been, really since the whole Black Lives Matter scam has been running in this country for years, there's a significant portion of the population in America today who is just so ignorant when it comes to the reality of law enforcement, the reality of state statutes, self-defense, so on and so forth. And I know we've got law enforcement people in the audience, and they're welcome to chime in. If I say something wrong, y'all flag me down. But I have a feeling that what I'm about to say for the Leos and former Leos that are out there are going to be nodding their head going, yep. Yeah, here's one of them, Marcus. 12 years ago, I was in the exact same situation as that ICE agent. The driver stopped the vehicle before I would have fired. Yeah. And we're gonna talk about that. Marcus, keep chiming in. A car is a deadly weapon. Okay? And there's been too much notion in this country that, oh no, police shot a quote unquote unarmed suspect. And my first reaction is, and so? There's too many people in this country that have this attitude now that have this stupid, ignorant concept with no basis in law, no basis in reality, but just they're fifis or something, that a cop can't shoot a person unless they have a gun in their hand and they're shooting right at the police officer with it. Or, again, I don't know where people get this mindset, but we're going to try to correct a lot of that tonight. And we're going to show you a few things, so stick with me on this. But thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. I'm going to grab, just so I don't get too far behind, because I know a lot of y'all are going to have a lot of comments on this one, so I'm going to try to keep up with the Super Chats as best I can. Tennessee Tornado for $5 gifted a Bet You Won't Do That Again membership. And I apologize if there's a stutter in the feed. We were having some StreamYard issues earlier. I did an internet connection test. I just had my internet actually repaired Monday morning. We did our Sunday show from a different location because the internet was down here. I checked it with the other show. It's super fast. So there's something going on with StreamYard. Marcus Quintus for $5. Don't worry, Minneapolis won't burn tonight. Local black population is sick of the light bulb-headed sand people's crap as well. Good Lord, Marcus. Packing protons for $2. Good God. Arrest Tim Waltz now due to recent comments, National Guard. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. You know, Tim Waltz is a guy that says that, you know, it's your patriotic duty to protest ICE. Tim Waltz has been antagonistic towards federal law enforcement antagonistic towards immigration and custom enforcement since, I don't know, day freaking one. And again, the Democrats in general, Minnesota has got to be the worst state in the union when it comes to the production of leadership. I going all the way back to frickin' Walter Mondale, for God's sake, in 1984. I mean, remember, Minnesota in 84 was the only state in the union, the only one out of 50. 49 states voted for Ronald Reagan. Minnesota voted for Walter Mondale because he was from Minnesota. It just goes to show you the stubbornness of those folks up there. Not all of them, obviously, but apparently there's enough of them to create a ton of brain damage. Let's get to some of the details here in just a bit. Marcus Quintus says, for $10, need a new federal law that says to the effect, quote, any naturalized citizen found guilty of a crime resulting in a felony conviction automatically will be denaturalized and deported. Maybe, but then it's like, you really think they're going to still be in jail when you deport them? I'd rather them just be in prison. Now, if they're not a citizen, or if they came here and they acquired citizenship and then immediately start turning around and protesting the United States and stumping for foreign countries, as we see with a lot of foreign folks that come here, then yes, strip them of that because it's a violation of their oath that they took when they became citizens, and ship them out. Ilhan Omar included. I think she's one of the worst examples of that, or the best, depending on how you want to look at it. Tennessee tornado for 10. Keep an eye for the phrase, quote, legal observers. Oh, I saw that. Ilhan Omar said legal observers. We're going to get, I got so many freaking tweets saved. My God. Ugh. Ilhan Omar, yeah, she said that legal observers or similar people, including politicians, are using that for the woman today. This is a term used by terrorist orgs to get international bodies like the United Nations to get involved. It sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, doesn't it? The problem is the conspiracy theories keep coming true. Yeah. Thank you, Tennessee. Juliet says for £5 morning, Renegade Nation news and chat. Good morning, Juliet. Tell all of our mods out there hello and thank you for being here. All you guys in the chat, thank the mods that are here. And I love, Tennessee said, I think while I wait, I'm going to get some salmon on iceberg lettuce, some iced tea, and finish it off with a couple of scoops of ice cream with freedom sprinkles. I saw that. I liked that one. All right, let's get into the story here because we have a lot to cover. Let's get to some of the details here. So today, and we have the video, I think we should be fairly safe playing these things. You know what's going on in it, but we'll get there. One of the ones that I wanted to bring in here is just, well, let's we'll get to this one. The article jumped on me. Here we go. It's shifting around. This is the name of the woman.
Sounding off on Venezuela fraud scandals.
I hate I hate when it starts playing automatically, and I know you can hear the audio. Renee Nicole Good, woman killed in Minneapolis ICE shooting. She tried to run over an officer before Minneapolis ICE shooting, DHS says, Department of Homeland Security. And again, we're going to show you the videos. By all accounts, that looks like exactly what happened. City leaders identified the woman killed. I know it's been all over the internet. This is an image of the vehicle. You can see, I want to draw to everybody's attention. Let me see if I can blow this up. I want everybody to pay attention to something while I have this image up on the car. Can y'all see the bullet hole? Can y'all see it? Can y'all see my cursor swirling it right now? I don't know if you can see the whole thing on that other screen. That bullet hole is coming right through the front windshield, just in front of the steering wheel, straight in. Okay? That should give you, and we'll show you the video here in a minute, a very clear indication of where the law enforcement officer who fired that shot was standing. And he wasn't out there side-arming it around the side, nothing like that. No, he was standing. He was in front of the vehicle. The vehicle hit him. Didn't almost hit him. It hit him. He almost crumpled and went underneath that front driver's side tire. And he fired that shot right into the car. I believe if you look carefully, like I said, you can see, it's a little hard, maybe hard to see on the screen, but y'all should be able to see that white puckered bullet hole right there in the front, dead front of that vehicle. Okay? So just want to make that obvious. And what happened was, it's easy just to get to the video and then we can discuss it. But what happened here was we had apparently an individual that was obstructing immigration officers. Now, we have to dial it back. And again, because this is why I said there's so much to go through tonight. It's like, I want to start with the story and just say, here's what happened. The problem is leaving out relevant context in terms of explaining the situation. There's too many people out there that clearly do not understand reality. Let's start with this. ICE is a federal law enforcement agency that has the power of detention, the power of arrest, and the power to enforce federal laws. In this case, specifically, immigration. The only governmental body that can enforce immigration laws is the federal government, not state governments, right? Immigration is something that is constitutionally instilled in the federal power, all right? Immigration and customs enforcement are the ones that are, ICE is the ones that are out there that are designated to do this. They can go anywhere in the country to do their job. Immigration and customs do not need permission to go in and enforce federal immigration law. They can go to New Orleans, they can go to Minneapolis, they can go to New York, they can go to Chicago, they can go to LA, so on and so forth. Name it, they can go there. They can go there and lawfully execute their lawful, constitutionally prescribed duties. It's simple as that. The Democrat Party, for the last year, since Trump's gotten back in office, and has turned up the heat when it comes to immigration enforcement, something that is quite frankly long overdue. And by turning up the heat, we're not saying that he's sending law enforcement officers out there to act beyond the scope of their lawful abilities. No, he's having them act within the lawful scope of their abilities. He's having them do the job that they are sworn to do. The Democrat Party believes it is their right to rile up and cajole their frankly ignorant base, because remember, the Democrat Party typically relies on ignorant people to keep them in power, thinks that they have a right because they feel it's unfair, that they have a right to obstruct law enforcement. Little hint, you don't have that right. No matter how you feel about it, no matter whether or not you like the fact that Donald Trump and the federal law enforcement agencies are now actually going to be compelled to do their jobs and enforce immigration law that has been on the books since the dawn of this country, you don't get to go out and try to stop them from doing it. You don't get to protest in a sense that is deliberately intended to obstruct them from the lawful exercise of their lawful duties. If they're trying to go in and arrest a suspect, detain a suspect, somebody who has overstayed their visa, somebody who's flat out invaded this country illegally, never crossed a border checkpoint, anything of that nature, then that's their job. You might not like it, but that is the law. You don't get to pull your car in the middle of the road, for example, and block a vehicle that is being clearly driven by law enforcement, in this case ICE, in the course of their lawful exercise or execution of their duty. That's what this woman tried to do today. You also don't have the right to then ignore lawful commands of the police saying, get your car out of the road. No. Okay, ma'am, step out of the vehicle, which you'll clearly hear in one of the videos. Step out of the vehicle. She refuses multiple times. And then she decided to, people out there, she was just trying to get away. Oh, okay, so she was committing another felony by fleeing and eluding. People were asking about a court case I mentioned at the beginning of the other show. Yes, Pennsylvania versus Mims. It's a very famous Supreme Court case that every law enforcement officer out there knows. Pennsylvania versus Mims. The Supreme Court settled this. And especially when it comes to a law enforcement officer asking you to step out of your vehicle. You have to step out of the vehicle. If you're being given a lawful command, right? It doesn't mean like, if a police officer asks you to step out of the vehicle and take off all your clothes and dance naked in the street, right? No. Lawful commands. Turn the vehicle off. Please step out of the vehicle. Please get back in your vehicle. Please stand over there on the hood of my car. Please step away from the scene right now. We're conducting an investigation. Those are lawful commands. You have to comply with those. Law enforcement officers have special privileges. Again, they have the privilege, or they have the legal ability, I should say, to detain and arrest people. When you repeatedly refuse to comply with those commands, it's natural for law enforcement officers to then begin thinking you're hiding something, something's wrong, you're about to do something bad, or you have already done something bad. This is normal law enforcement training. Every police officer out there, whether they're a city cop, a state trooper, federal law enforcement, they're all getting very similar training in that regard. And then especially when you don't shut your vehicle off, you don't step out of the car, and instead you put your car in gear and then stomp on the accelerator while there is a police officer standing in front of you, again, trying to exercise the other officer's command for you to get out of the car. You step on the gas and you drive right into that officer. Yes, you're going to get shot. And it's happened many times before. This is not the first time this kind of thing has happened, but of course, this is going to get national attention because it was a federal officer for ICE. Let me pull up the Twitter feed. Let's look at some of these videos without further ado. Now that we've kind of set the stage a little bit, the audience is, we're starting to peak up here, getting everybody in the house. 230 of y'all out there. We appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. Much obliged. All right. Let me, there's so many clips. It's crazy. This is the one that or one of the ones that I think was, the most, and there's several angles. Obviously, there's been several videos out here today. Okay. And I want everybody to, I'm gonna put myself in the corner down here a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna go over here so you can see it, so I can blow it up a little bit better. So the vehicle in question is that maroon Honda Pilot. Everybody see that one? Right? Maroon Honda Pilot. Okay. Here we go. Now I want you to watch. So the gray vehicle approaching, I believe this is the law enforcement vehicle. Yeah. See the blinky lights on the side there? Law enforcement vehicle gets out. He's asking her to move. Okay. And they can hear the other one has just come out of the driver's side. He's the one that's closest to the vehicle now. You heard him say, I want you to listen to this, get out of the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. You hear that? Pennsylvania versus Mims. Got to come. Get out of the car. You've been given a command. These are law enforcement agents. Get out of the car. Get out of the effing car now. Okay? Then there's a thing, and again, Marcus is in there. Marcus is out there in chat. He'll tell you this. Marcus, what's the 3 steps in this situation? Ask, tell, make. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Right? Now, remember, the video just started seconds before this. So we don't know what happened immediately before.
No!
Now, you see what you... Now, here we go. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. She's already refused to comply. And again, she's in the middle of the street. They're trying to go down the street. Remember, these are the protesters out there that have the apps on their phones that they share information. They track ICE. They want to see where they're going so they can what? They can interfere. They can obstruct. Right? This is the whole point. These people are out there doing this. This has been going on for months, almost all of 2025. In fact, they're going out to locations where they think or they know ICE is going to be or is at the time, and then go out there to try to obstruct the lawful exercise of their duty. Okay? But what does she do? What does she do? Instead of get out of the car. She could have gotten out of the car. She might have gone in handcuffs. They might have detained her right there just to move her vehicle. And I said detained, not arrest. I don't know if she's done anything to be arrested yet. Maybe she has. Maybe this is enough of obstruction. Maybe she was sitting there for 10 minutes leading up to this video telling ICE to go F themselves. She's not letting them through. But it's better than getting shot.
No!
She throws the car in reverse, okay? She throws the car in reverse, and she's trying to flee. So, okay, add another charge for fleeing and eluding, or whatever they call it in Minnesota, or whatever the federal statute is. But fleeing and eluding is what I hear commonly. She throws the car in reverse after being given at least 3 that we heard clear commands to exit the vehicle.
No! Shit!
Look at the... Okay, now I want you to look at the cop in front. Because a lot of people missed it because he walks around from the other side. He walks around from the passenger side. But as you go here, you see him... Look, you see him come into frame. And I'm pointing like y'all can see where I'm pointing. Right in front of that driver's side, okay? Right there. Look, you see him standing in front of the car right there. And look, she starts going forward. She puts the car in drive. You can see the wheel spin on the front driver's side right there. And that's look at the officer right above me, right above my finger here. Look at him. Look, he's drawing the pistol from... Now he is drawing the gun from his holster. The car is moving forward straight at him. He is standing in front of that car after they've already told her, stop. You're not free to leave. Get out of the car. He is standing in front of the vehicle to try to prevent her unlawful fleeing and eluding. But she puts the car in drive, and now you see him drawing his pistol. She is now advancing the car directly at him. Now, you have to remember, we are watching this. People have now watched this video a gajillion times on the internet, and we all want to play Monday morning quarterback on this stuff. Well, screw your Monday morning quarterbacking, because the legal standard here is that officer in that situation who has to make a split-second decision right now, because he has just as much right to for him to be alive and go home that night to his family as that woman in the car does. But the problem is that woman in the car has now failed to comply with at least 3 that we've heard in the first few seconds of this video, lawful commands. Now she is driving a vehicle at the cup. Oh, she was trying to turn. Look at her wheel. She was trying to get out. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not incumbent upon that law enforcement officer in a 1/10 of a second to try to read her mind. Oh, she's not really trying to hit me. She's just trying to get around me. He's standing in front of the vehicle. He's standing a foot in front of that car. And now she just slammed the accelerator.
Oh, shame!
Boom. Right through the front of the windshield. Because that's where he's standing, right in front of it. Now, what you can't see from this angle as clearly is that she does actually hit him. She actually hits him with the car. Now, I want you to go, for any of y'all who care about this, you can do this after the show. Go to Police Activity, which is a YouTube channel. Great YouTube channel. Police Activity. It's got almost 7 million subscribers now. It is nothing but raw, unfiltered police body cam footage. You will find, I guarantee you on there, probably at least a dozen of videos just like this, of the same situation from the past few years. Of an officer trying to conduct a stop of some kind, and then the person they're trying to detain and or arrest decides to use the vehicle as a weapon to run over. It doesn't matter if she was intending to turn her car or flat out run him over. We don't know. The point is, it doesn't matter. He was standing in front of that car. They were conducting a lawful detention, in this case, as best we can tell, and she then turned this into a deadly force situation. Yeah. Look at Marcus here. Marcus says, you give as many warnings as necessary until unable to, or doing so jeopardizes either the officer or a bystander's safety. Then yell some more. There's only so much you can do. Now, I want you to realize, okay, so that first round goes through the windshield. You can see he's kind of not the guy that's closest to us in the camera, but the guy behind. There's a second shot that looks like he fires near or through the driver's side window. I mean, that car was peeling out. That car was peeling out, okay? Again, this is all totally avoidable, as is 99.9% of every officer-involved shooting I have ever watched on body cam, Police Activity, Midwest Safety, all kind of other channels. I can tell you right now, 99% of these officer-involved shootings could have simply been avoided if the other individual who got shot had just listened, had just followed lawful commands. There's an old expression, especially, it's like, look, you don't litigate this on the side of the road with the cop. This is what court is for. But trying to run over a cop with a car is never a good idea. And every time I've seen one of these kind of situations where this happens, the guy driving the car tends to catch a few lead smackers. All right, let me pull up. I think there was a little bit better one here. Yeah, this is a slow mode. Somebody slowed this down. Again, it's from the same angle. It's a little bit closer. I don't know why. Okay, so it's really, really slowed down so you get the audio. So again, it's not the guy at the window. It's the one right there in front of the vehicle, directly in front of the vehicle. You see the other officer right there, directly in front, coming around the front of the car, standing in front of the car, that one right there. The car starts moving forward. right at him. He's drawing, and he's standing in front of that car. Boom. You can see his body crumple right there because he's hit. And then the shot is fired. That officer has about a half a millisecond to make a decision. Am I going to die today? Oh, okay. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Pathetic watching Valiant in the chat justifying the murder of a U.S. citizen. How stupid can you guys be? I don't know. Are you listening to a word I'm saying? You know, I'm trying to explain things to you, but, you know, if you've already come in here with the attitude that, you know, we're all wrong and you're right, and clearly you don't know, you want to give me some kind of legal justification for your side of that argument, then you go ahead. But I'm telling you right now, as far as everything I've seen so far, there isn't any. But the problem is there's a lot of people out there, again, like I've said, you have had the left that have so corrupted people's brains out there for at least the last decade, especially with crap like Black Lives Matter, that have gone around and convinced 40%, 30% of the population that police officers are bad, that police officers just randomly like to shoot black people for no reason. It's all bullshit, and it's been all bullshit. You have an entire segment of the population right now, and there's no evidence of it. There's none anywhere. Again, this is why I say go watch. The proliferation of police body cams was the worst thing that ever happened to the BLM movement. And it really is, because all the times that we've heard, oh, we shot a poor unarmed, just shot somebody, blah, blah, blah. It's like, then you actually see the police body cam, and then it's like, oh, never mind. This is one of those situations. So, I mean, I'm sorry you're upset about it, and I'm sorry that facts and logic and actual evidence is a problem. And again, we don't have we don't have every piece of everything here yet, but I'm telling you right now, based on what I'm looking at here, I mean, what would you have had the police officer do? Get run over? You realize the self-defense, the deadly force argument all revolves around, you know, the use of deadly force, either lethal or serious bodily injury, right? Running over somebody tends to meet that threshold, I would say. Generally speaking, tends to meet that threshold. So I don't know what you're looking at, and I have another clip here. Let's go back. Let's back out. Let me find the other one. This one, I think somebody. Let me hang on. Let me back it up. This one, it's a little bit harder to see because it's further away. There is a closer up shot. I have to find it. It's somewhere in this litany of stuff. Okay. Again, a little hard to see. You can see the car coming through now. I want you to look right here. That little blob in front of the car, that's the cop. You can see him getting hit. He is in front of the vehicle. He gets hit. The front driver's side headlight, that's the point of impact right there at a vehicle that is accelerating quickly. Again, after law enforcement officers have told this woman, stop the vehicle, get out of the car. I don't care if you don't like ICE. I don't care if you think that every illegal immigrant should be left here to do whatever the hell they please, including stealing, probably collectively, just outside of Minnesota, and Minnesota included, we might be tens of billions, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud, like all the frickin' Somalians in this piece of shit state. You may think that they're entitled to do whatever they want. And since you don't like Donald Trump, that you get to do whatever you want and terrorize and antagonize federal law enforcement officers doing their frickin' jobs. Well, pardon my French, but fuck you, no, you don't. So she decided whether willingly or not to run over a cop, which she absolutely did make a conscientious decision to do 3 times, was ignore lawful commands from law enforcement officers. And then try to commit another felony by fleeing and eluding, in the process of which she ran into a cop, almost ran over a cop, and she got shot for it. I don't see anything in any of these videos that says otherwise. This one, no, I think this is the same. This is the same angle. Yeah, you still can't really see this one. There was one, somebody shared out there. I got to find it. I might not have flagged it and tagged it. It was under, what was it? Let's see. Somebody might have been posted under one of these. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit closer up. Some people are trying to circle. There was another angle where you could see from the front where his body, I mean, you could see clearly he was hit hard. And his body kind of folded in a way that is not natural. So, yeah. Let me grab some more of these super chats here. Packing Protons for 5. If I forget the tab is open, your intro makes me jump in the silence. Sorry about that, dude. Archer for $5. The meme of De Niro saying he may have to leave New York City now because someone he pushed for wants to take his savings is ironically hilarious. Oh my God, did he really? Was that one of the Hollywood guys y'all were talking about earlier on the other show? Where like even Hollywood now is regretting the Mamdani thing? What did they think was going to happen when they voted for this stupid piece of shit? Oh my goodness. Seriously. They're some of the dumbest people on earth. Like you didn't know this is what you were voting for. Snarky says for 5, could get messy. From what I saw, the vehicle was obstructing and then struck the official, the law enforcement, with known result. Tragic but lawful use of force. And that's it. That's really it. I mean, it really, at that point, nothing else kind of really matters here. Remember, and people out there, and let me address this, because this is going to be the next thing. If it hasn't already happened, which it may have. Well, Valiant, you guys on the right talk about how, it's fine to run over protesters in the middle of the interstate that try to jump on your vehicle. It's not the same thing, guys. Again, and this is there. The problem is the left will always try to conflate bullshit with reality. Law enforcement officers, local, federal, whatever, ICE, FBI, your local police, sheriff's deputies, it don't matter, state troopers, whatever. They have the power, the legal power to detain and arrest. They have the power to order you to stop, get out of the car, provide your identification, provide your driver's license, right? They have that authority. We grant them that authority. And that because that's how they do their jobs, right? Now, random blue-haired fat land whale hippie bitch that wants to, run up and block 2 lanes of I-10 because she wants to do, an ICE protest or what have you, or Free Palestine or whatever other crap. Okay? And you have a mob of rando citizens, rando people, maybe not all of them even legal, surrounding your vehicle, jumping on your hood and everything else. No, it's not the same thing. They don't have the authority to detain you. They don't have the authority to stop your vehicle. The police do. Again, I've taught my kids every time, whether I think, look, good example, my own example. I got pulled over for speeding. This was like maybe, 5 years ago. And I got pulled over for it. I was driving through a school zone, had my cruise control locked in at 25. And I came out of the school zone and accelerated back up to 45, which was the speed on this particular road. Cop pulled me over. He was sitting way out in front of me. And I went by him and I pulled over. He's like, license, registration, proof of insurance. Sure. Gave him everything. Hey, I'm concealed carry permit. I have a pistol right here in the seat next to me, blah, blah, blah. Did all the, do what you're supposed to do. And he said, I got you speeding in the school zone. You were going 45. I was like, no. I said, I didn't accelerate back to 45. And said it just like, it was very nice about it. I said, I didn't accelerate up to 45 until I got out of the school zone. I said, you were sitting 2 or 3 blocks up and he had the radar. He was in a terrible spot to speed trap for a school zone. I think he was new. But I was nice. I didn't act like a dick. Everything he asked me to do, I did. And I said, then he asked me, he said, do you know where the school zone ends? I said, well, yeah, it's right back there at the intersection of this and that. That's where the sign's at. And then he looked at me and he's like, okay. And he checked out my license and registration, handed me everything back. And he's like, sorry about that. He's like, go ahead, just be careful. I said, okay. I think he knew I was right. But again, I didn't get out the window, start jaw-jacking to the guy, acting like a freaking dick, screaming at him like, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing. Again, go watch YouTube channels like Police Activity and Midwest Safety and some of these other guys out there with all the body cam footage. And you're going to see every time that somebody gets in trouble with police, it's because they act like a moron. All this woman had to do when they said, get out of the car, was just stop the car and get out of it. That's it. Instead, she decided to opt for oblivion by putting the car in reverse, then turning into a cop, putting it in drive, and then trying to run him over. This is what we call stupid. Sorry. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but this is more about the people out there in the social media ether that just don't get it. No matter how many times you try to explain to them, no matter even with clear video evidence of what went on here, that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Elijah Snow says, for 5, with a decade of law enforcement on the street, I will tell you this is what the left has been trying to set up. Good thing there were so many cameras. Yes. Totally agreed. I said this earlier, Elijah. See, I told you we had a bunch of Leos in the chat. The left has been trying to set this up. The left has been trying to instill distrust and fear based on fiction, based on lies about law enforcement in this country. Not just federal law enforcement, not just ICE, but everything, all the defund the police, right? And we're going to play a clip here from Mayor Worthless Twat, Jacob Fry, or whatever his name is, from Minneapolis, talking about this, because he had some words for ICE. Did y'all see this one? We're going to play this clip. But yes, this is exactly what they've been trying to do for years. They want their voter base stupid, poor, and dependent on Democrats. And part of that is making them distrust, disrespect law enforcement. And I hate to tell you, I think there's a lot of Democrat leaders that are very secretly semi-celebrating the events of today, because for some of them, I think they got what they wanted, because they're going to hold her up and use her as a political martyr now for the midterm elections. They have trained their base to be stupid, ignorant, and disrespectful of law enforcement in order to get themselves into situations like this where the police will be forced to use physical force and sometimes lethal force with them. I hate to say it, but I actually believe some of them feel that way. And I'm not talking about rank and file, normal, everyday people. I'm talking about the political leadership of that party. I don't trust one of them. Not one. I wouldn't vote for a Democrat for fucking dog catcher. I just wouldn't do it. Snarky says for 5, pretty clearly obstruction. Vehicle strikes official. Tragic but lawful use of force. Yeah, I think we got that one. Yeah. Oh, you had two of them kind of similar to that. Thank you, Snarky. Marcus for 5, how much money do you want to put down that Attorney General Keith Ellison will seek to charge that ICE agent? I don't think you can. I don't know about that. I need maybe I'll ask Ron Coleman that tomorrow. I don't know how that works because he's a federal agent. I don't know. I just don't know. Tennessee tornado for 2. She learned pretty quickly what FAFO means. Tragically. And I feel terrible for her husband, I guess, or I know she had 2 kids. I feel terrible for her children. But I want to make it clear for everybody out there saying, oh, law enforcement took away a mother. No, this mother took away herself from her own 2 children. And the person who should have been thinking about her 2 children before engaging in this reckless, ridiculous, illegal behavior was her. There's too much of this that goes on in this country now, all by these crazy lefties, and I'm frankly tired of being nice about it. Because if we keep being nice, nobody's going to learn. It's tragic it happened. Let this be a lesson to other people, mothers, otherwise, like this woman here. Minnesota mayor walking a fine line with commentary. Yeah, we're about to play that clip. In fact, let's do that now, and then we're going to get back to Super Chats. Let me grab this one here for $20 from Staccato. I hear her saying no, then shit when she hits the agent. She may have been looking out the driver's side window, not paying attention to the cop in front of her, I guess is what you mean. But either way, in that instant, she became a victim of her own circumstances. Tragic. That's exactly right. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether she was looking straight forward and realized there was a cop there. She's looking at the guy at the window, looking out the front. Again, the cop in front of that car he has a right to go home. She didn't want to comply with any of their lawful commands, and instead she tried to run and in the process run over a cop. This happens. Again, word of advice, the lesson here is comply with lawful instructions from law enforcement. For God's sake. It's not hard. Thank you, Staccato. Good to see you, dude. Happy New Year to you, man. Hope you're doing well. All right, let me get this up. Let me switch the screen out here. And we're going to play. God. This is Minnesota. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with y'all up there in Minnesota. I know there's some great people up in Minnesota, but my God, y'all produce some of the most retarded twats I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how y'all produce these. Y'all are so good at making them, y'all even import them from Somalia. Whew. I'm so freaking tired. I'm going to have to go home. What's up, Ron Coleman? What are you doing here? See, you told me you can't do Wednesday shows. We're going to do this. We're going to talk about this tomorrow night. What you been doing all day, Ron? I just noticed you were lurking in chat. All right, let's play the clip of this ding dong here.
There's a lot of information that is swirling around right now, and
Gotcha.
we collectively are going to do everything possible to get to the bottom of this, to get justice, and to make sure that there is an investigation that is conducted in full. But what we do know is that a 37-year-old woman is dead and that she was shot by ICE.
This is Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey or Fry. I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but honestly, I don't really apologize all that much because I don't care. I'm going to stay in this corner because I'm sorry. This isn't, I can't, I'm sorry. The sign language people, the proliferation of this is so distracting. And this one is, let's just say she absolutely looks like a woman from Minnesota. Can we be honest? She definitely a blue state girl or guy, or I don't want to misgender it.
We've dreaded this moment since the early stages of this ICE presence in Minneapolis.
Really? You've dreaded this moment. Why have you dreaded this moment? Is it because you've been encouraging the people in Minneapolis and paid agitators to come in, probably with a ton of George Soros kind of money? You've been dreading this moment because you've been encouraging the kind of lawless behavior from your own people, your own voters, your own Democrat base that would then elicit this type of response from law enforcement? You've been dreading it because you've been prodding it to happen. You've been dreading it because you've been trying to engineer it, maybe, at least at some level.
Not only is this a concern that we've had internally, we've been talking about it. They are not here to cause safety in this city.
Oh, they're not?
What they are doing is not to provide safety in America.
Oh, no. Okay, that's it. So, again, federal law enforcement, immigration enforcement is not here to round up illegal foreign invaders. Tens of millions of them that do not belong in this country, that never entered a point of legal entry in this country, never declared that they were here, or have otherwise overstayed visas, violated terms of temporary status for work permits, school permits, whatever have you. There's millions of cases like this. So law enforcement out there rounding these people up as prescribed by federal law, as prescribed in the constitutional duty that the federal government makes the rules when it comes to immigration. They're not here to make you safe. Maybe you have an inordinate number of voters there, Jacob, that you're talking about that shouldn't be here. I wonder.
What they are doing is causing chaos and distrust. They're ripping families apart. They're sowing.
No, that's not true. It's been made very, very plain and clear that families can be deported together.
Chaos on our streets, and in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody.
You saw the video. Oh, you saw the video. Okay, you saw the videos that we just played. You saw everything. You saw everything there, right?
Directly. That is bullshit.
Oh, wow. Another one living in denial. Or he's just a liar. Either way, doesn't matter. Yeah, there's no way any reasonable, logical person can see those videos and want to go ahead with the claim that this law enforcement officer just decided, screw it. Let's shoot her. Give me a break. I told you this guy was a little twat.
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying.
An agent recklessly used power. You know, how about the woman behind the wheel of the car who recklessly disobeyed multiple lawful commands to stop and exit the vehicle and instead backed the car up, repositioned it as an officer got in front of her to prevent her unlawful, reckless fleeing and eluding, and then she recklessly struck a police officer while rapidly accelerating in a Honda Pilot, hitting him, forcing him to draw his weapon and fire at her in defense of his own life. How about that, dick?
Getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. To the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Wait a minute, that brings up an interesting question, Jacob. Where were the Minneapolis Police Department before this happened? Oh, you refused to employ them. See, local police generally, when ICE are there, part of their job would be to help secure federal law enforcement who was there rounding up illegal immigrants. And typically, when federal law enforcement like ICE goes into an area, they, of course, will let local law enforcement know. And then law enforcement to at least assist, especially in cases where they have some crowd control issues, right? Like a mob of people constantly trying to obstruct law enforcement by blocking their vehicles, getting in their face, or how about one, because people were showing this video today of a guy getting popped in the face with, I think it was a pepper gun, who was actually trying to grab and take the officer's weapon from him. That is a sure way to get your head blown off. Where was Minneapolis police? Oh, I forgot. This twat and the police chief of the Minneapolis police, who I believe is also a twat, don't like ICE very much, and have basically instructed the rank and file law enforcement to not help them. I'm not blaming Minneapolis police, the rank and file guys. I'm sure most of the people in the police force are great law enforcement officers who would love nothing more than to do their jobs. But their bosses tell them not to. Maybe, just maybe, if local Minneapolis police had been there to help manage the unruly, riotous crowd that was engaged in obstruction against federal law enforcement, then this would not have happened.
The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes...
Really, it's funny to me he never addresses the fact of all the people, his voters, his Looney Tune, lunatic, batshit crazy voters that he and Tim Walz have basically sent in to obstruct ICE, who were there causing the problems. No. It's all the cops' faults. Give me a break.
They created themselves. There's little I can say, again.
Yeah, Marcus, let me grab this real quick, because that's, yes, the DEI sheriff. Yeah, this is, well, I don't think he's the sheriff, Marcus. I think that's the guy I was talking about. That's the other twat. That's the chief of police. of Minneapolis City Chief of Police, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one that's been out there at the podium talking about that he hates ICE and we're not going to help ICE and ICE shouldn't be here and ICE is causing problems and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he's just as big of a pussy as the mayor.
It'll make this situation better, but I do have a message.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're looking over. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't know who. You think she got jobs based on qualifications? I don't know. I don't know what department that is. I legit don't know. Guy in the blue above me is Minneapolis police chief. The whatever that is in white. Frumpy over there. I don't know. Is that from is she from the sheriff's department? Maybe. I'm trying to see. Oh, I see. Yeah, I do see. It does look like a sheriff's patch on her arm. Yeah, I don't know. God, if that's the sheriff.
For our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE.
Oh, he's got a message for ICE. Oh, good. Let's see. What do y'all think his message is going to be for ICE? Is it going to be, this is tragic, we wish it never would have happened, we want to assist you guys in any way possible so that this doesn't happen again, and that we ask for calm in the city and allow federal law enforcement to simply exercise their lawful duties, do their jobs. We might not like it, but this is their purview, and it is legal what they are doing. Is that going to be his message for
to ICE? Get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Oh! Well, that was the opposite of what I thought he would say. Oh, no. Surely that was this is AI, right? That's not real. He didn't say that.
For our city, and I have a message for ICE.
I want to listen to that again. I want to make sure I heard it right.
To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Yeah, I heard it right. Oh, my God.
Want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt.
Again, this has been the most frustrating thing. It's not just that they peddle these lies with such straight faces. It's not that they gaslight and bullshit the American people. We expect this from the left, from the leadership. It's the fact that there's actually people out there who buy this shit. That's what's frustrating. The world is full of idiots. There's new ones born every minute because they vote for people like this douche canoe. Your stated reason for being here is to make people safe. Yeah, they want to get maybe a couple of million illegal Somalians out of your fucking city and your state. You know, the ones that have just bilked your taxpayers because they're not paying taxes, but the other taxpayers in Minnesota for what, $10 billion and counting in fraud, in Medicare fraud, in fake daycare fraud, in all kind of other welfare fraud, every other kind of fraud, government assistance fraud that you can think of, and it's only getting worse. It's so bad that your twat governor, Tim Walz, just decided out of the blue, I guess in a coincidence, to not run for re-election. He's so popular in Minnesota that Tim Walz, the biggest idiot on planet Earth, that he decided to effectively just resign and become a lame duck for the rest of this term. You think he resigned because all the fraud accusations were bullshit? Y'all funny. But no. It's all Donald Trump's fault. It's all ICE's fault. It's not the fault of the people that this guy riled up to come in there and cause the problems. No, it's federal law enforcement's fault for doing their jobs.
Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city.
Long-term, listen to the words, long-term Minneapolis residents, not citizens. No, Apache. No, when I said resign, I said effectively resign, right? Meaning what I said was he effectively resigned himself into a lame duck sitting governor. Because I think the election is this year, if I'm not mistaken. So this is it. So he's effectively walked away because of this. My point here is that let me back this up a little bit. I saw that comment. I wanted to get to it. I didn't want to. I shouldn't have used the word, I guess, but I was trying to make a little bit of a quip there.
Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed.
That's what I was going to. Yeah, right there. Hang on. Listen to the words.
Safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents.
Residents. Not, he didn't say citizens. Not long-term citizens, not even Minnesotans, not even Minneapolis citizens, Minnesotan citizens, American, no. Long-term Minneapolis residents. We all know who he's talking about. The illegals. He's admitting to you, right? He knows these people are illegal. It don't matter because, again, the left believes in, global migration theory. Like, you're a citizen of Earth. You should be able to freely go wherever you want. It's amazing that everybody keeps wanting to flood in here. It only applies to places like Western Europe and the United States. I don't see a lot of people like freely migrating into Zimbabwe or Somalia. Or another half the Middle Eastern shitholes out there. Nobody's migrating there. People migrating? No, because they don't have giant industrial complexes. They don't have giant welfare programs. Western Europe does. America does. So they all the shit's coming here. And they're long-term residents. They're not citizens, but that doesn't matter. This is where we are. This is the gaslighting.
Greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead.
We're being terrorized because law enforcement's trying to do their job. This is the same crap we heard during the BLM bullshit for years, that cops are just terrorizing black people. They're doing it. And yet you watch the body cam footage and it's like, no, the police were just trying to actually execute their jobs that they were trained to do in a fashion they were trained to do, and you were doing something wrong. Yeah. Again, body cams are the worst thing that ever happened to Democrats, the worst things that ever happened to the Black Lives Matter movement. It's incredible.
That's on you.
No, it isn't.
And it's also on you to leave.
No, it isn't.
It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done.
Let me tell you what, if I'm Donald Trump and DHS right now, I'm going to double the number of ICE agents tomorrow. Until you get the message through your head that when it comes to immigration enforcement, you are not in charge, Jacob. And your little pissant police chief is not in charge either. And your little fruity governor is not in charge either. You're not in charge. You don't get to make these decisions. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Double the number of ICE agents tomorrow in Minneapolis. Fuck them.
We're going to be working towards justice as quickly as we possibly can right now. And justice is what we've all got to get.
Good. You're going to work towards justice. That means that your police department is going to comply with federal law? Does that mean your police department is now going to comply with the lawful exercise of duties by these ICE agents? Is that what that means? Is that justice? Are you going to go for justice now? Are you actually going to investigate all of the massive multi-billion-dollar Somalian fraud that's going on in your city that you probably know about? Your governor damn sure knows about. People like Ilhan Omar absolutely know about and have profited from. A woman that's gone from a net worth of reportedly $50,000, $60,000 when she first got elected to Congress, that reportedly is now worth 30 to 40 million. How'd that happen in just a few years? I wonder, when there's $10 billion of Somalian-run fraud against taxpayers running through your city and your state, I wonder where her money came from. I don't know. Is that the kind of justice we're going to get?
Next, a message to our community.
Oh, look. He takes a breath, and he's, okay, I'm remembering what my acting coach told me.
Look, we all know that the agenda of this Trump administration is to create chaos.
Create chaos. Enforcing long-standing federal law is creating chaos. No. What you're mad about is the intention of Donald Trump is to remove people that shouldn't be here, the illegals, which you don't like because you depend on these people not only for campaign funding, clearly because they're defrauding taxpayers, and then passing some of that money to the Democrat Party and candidates like you, Jacob. But at the same time, you are heavily reliant on these very people to cast illegal votes for you. Let's be frank. This is about the removal of a voting base, and the Democrats are terrified of it. There have been studies in the past year that show that if you removed every illegal from the pool out there, you look at the shift in the how congressional seats are apportioned to the states, and you'd have like a 30 to 40 seat shift from blue states to red states if we just removed the illegals and therefore were no longer counted in the census. The Democrats know this. That's why they're dependent on illegals, is to retain power, congressional seats in places like Minnesota, in places like Illinois, in places like California, in places like New York. You remove all the illegals and they're not in the census anymore, and you're going to see the landscape shifts radically, and it shifts radically red. And the Democrats are, that's what they're afraid of. That's what this is really all about.
Let us respond right now with our best versions of self. This is a moment where all of us in Minneapolis and beyond, we can rise to the occasion. We can show them who we are. We can show them the kind of courage, bravery, love, and compassion that makes Minneapolis, Minneapolis, and that makes America, America.
Now, wait, I'm confused. This guy just got through screaming and yelling at ICE for doing their jobs and telling them to go fuck themselves and get the fuck out of Minneapolis and fuck you and all this other kind of stuff, and then takes his little... But I want to tell everybody all we want is justice, and everybody should be in love and peace and be respectful and show them the kind of love that we have here in Minneapolis. What is this idiot talking about? You don't get to shift the gears like that. You don't get to come in there and spend the last several months, you and your cohorts, the entire last year, all of 2025, talking about how Donald Trump is literally Hitler and a Nazi and ICE agents are Nazis. Tim Walz talking about how immigration and customs enforcement is the same thing as the Gestapo, calling them all Nazis and the SS and all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden you want to come out here after telling them to fuck off and get out of your city in the same speech and then say everybody just needs to be peace and love? How much of that Somalian meth has this guy smoked? I mean, I genuinely don't know if this guy is short bus retarded or he thinks we are. But again, it baffles me that anybody actually believes people like this. Don't believe your lying eyes. Just listen to what I'm telling you.
We are better than a bunch of ICE agents being deployed to cities around the country and ripping apart families and communities. We're
Clearly, you're not.
better than that. And so we are going to meet that hate with love. We
What?
are going to meet that despair with hope. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. And we're going to make sure that in this very difficult moment, we do not take the bait that these ICE agents are trying to create and that the federal government, to be clear, wants.
What? The federal government wants to go in and do their jobs. And their jobs are finding people who are here illegally, in other words, that are breaking the law, that shouldn't be here, capturing them lawfully, arresting them, and shipping them out to their own home country. That is what ICE was built for. That is what they're supposed to do.
They want us to respond in a way that creates a military occupation in our city.
By the way, chat, I got a question for you. Is anybody out there, anybody in chat, any of you guys, y'all think y'all can bring her back? Who's going to save her? Come on, somebody out there, y'all. Who's going to try? Come on. Oh, that's mean. Jay can. We'll get drunk 3PO on her. You'll have to, dude. She might take $1 million dongs. I don't know. Oh hell. Okay. All right. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
They want an excuse to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos and more despair.
They want to come in and show the kind of force that will create more chaos. I don't. This is such bullshit. You want to know what a show of force every year is? Mardi Gras in New Orleans. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of additional law enforcement that flood into New Orleans. They're everywhere. They're out in force. To act like this automatically entices people into lawless behavior because you have a show of force from law enforcement that show up to do their jobs. Same thing. They're there. Mardi Gras, they're there to do a job. ICE is there to do a job, right? There's a lot of people at Mardi Gras that want to act stupid, especially in the touristy areas. And the police are there to stop them from doing stupid things. That does not incite the rest of the crowd to then rise up against law enforcement and en masse create these kind of problems. It does, however, consistently seem to be a problem when it comes to leftist political activity. Maybe there's a theme there.
Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion.
What is? I can't stop watching her. What is with the facial expressions? What was that?
Let's not let them. Let's rise to this occasion.
What is this shit?
Let's show them something far more beautiful than the kind of division that they're trying to stoke. Let's show them unity of purpose, of love, and the courage of our conviction. Our conviction, to be clear, is rock solid, and it is for our neighbors, all of our neighbors.
Especially all of the millions of illegal ones that are running multi-billion-dollar fraud scams against the legal citizens here who are paying taxes. Yeah, again, twat.
It's for people who have lived here for 80 years. It is for new immigrants who have made this city a better place.
Illegal ones.
That's the kind of love that we're going to show up with right now. If you're angry, I get it. I am too. If you're feeling that kind of despair, it's understandable. Let's show them who we can be. Let's show up with peace. To march, to protest, to hug one another.
Let's show it with peace, to march, protest, hug one another, and try to run over police officers. Apparently. It's unbelievable. The amount of absolute, oh God, I just can't even. That's basically the end of it right there. Again, the evidence is not on your side, dude. I saw the video crap, and I saw the video and blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, you I don't think you did. I'm trying to see if I can find this other one. Somebody had, and I should have marked it. There was a closer up shot of this, and it's really, really hard to. Is this the one? Yeah, I'm. There was one from a different angle. I don't know. Somebody, yeah. I mean, this is kind of. People are showing the in some cases they're showing some stills of it, and I'm really regretting apparently I did not mark that one, or maybe I did, but you can see here again another still shot here. I don't know what the mayor of Minneapolis is talking about, but it's blatantly obvious to me what went on here, and I just I'm tired of the gaslighting. Wonko the Sane, what's up, my man? For $10, I would invite anyone who claims a car is not a deadly weapon to back up their viewpoint by playing in traffic. That's an excellent point. Snarky says for $10, force a person uses causing that a person knows or should know will create a substantial risk of death or serious bodily harm. Exactly. Definition of deadly force, U.S. Navy. And it's almost a verbatim of definition of deadly force across basically everything, both military, law enforcement, and even civilian self-defense laws. So, yeah. Elijah Snow for 2. Valiant, I know an argument. There is one. I don't know where that came in, Elijah, but I got you. Thank you though for the $2, dude. I appreciate you, man. Packing protons for 5. Can we get rid of a certain party as threats to security at this point? Look, George Washington warned against political parties in his farewell address. That's probably a good reason. Packing for 5, you do what the law enforcement officer says, you get to live another day. Simple. Yeah, look, law enforcement officers, let me tell you what, most law enforcement officers who are involved in officer-involved shootings or who, get shot or tragically killed happens during routine traffic stops. Most of the time, it's routine traffic stop. And they're faced with that kind of situation because people do stupid shit. They don't want to listen. They don't want to comply. No, I don't have to give you my driver's license. No, I don't have to get out of the car. No, I don't have to do this. No, you can't do that. No, you can't touch me. No, you can't pull me out of the car. No, it's like you're wrong about literally everything. this is why this kind of stupid stuff happens. Because I'm telling you right now, somebody put it in this woman's head. People like Tim Waltz, people like Ilana Omar, people like Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, whatever the hell his name is. People like that, Democrat leaders like that, put this shit in a woman's head like this and other people's heads like this, that they don't have to comply with law enforcement if they feel it's unfair or whatever. She knew what she was doing. She was given opportunities to stop. And she made a really, really, really stupid decision. And her award was a bullet. Sorry, but that's the fact. It's tragic. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have had to have happened. And I'm tired of the excuses out there from some people that just don't understand. And generally speaking, it's the same people out there, like I said before, who want to tell you that law enforcement just randomly hunts down black people and shoots them for fun. It's the same people out there who want to complain about guns and talk about assault weapons, quote unquote, and all this other crap, and have never owned, held, or shot a gun in their lives. The most ignorant people out there are the ones that generally are going to have the most ridiculous and robust and loudest opinions, and it's almost always from the left. If we maybe, just maybe, stop teaching people to distrust police officers, to distrust law enforcement, to hate cops, to fear cops, to tell them that police officers just want to hurt people and all this other kind of bullshit, maybe this kind of shit will stop happening. But that's not what the Democrats want. That's not what the left wants. They can't afford to have a peaceful and functional society because they lose power if America is a peaceful and functional and rational and moral, especially moral society. The Democrat Party cannot survive America as a moral society. So they have to make sure it is immoral. They have to make sure that it is dysfunctional. They have to make sure that there is distrust, and of especially of law enforcement, because that is the only way that they can acquire and retain power. Period. This right here is a prime example. This is what they need. This is what the Democrat Party needs. It's sick, but it's the truth. Tennessee says for 5, you can be undetained, but you cannot be unarrested or unalived. Remember that before making a decision when given a lawful command by an officer. Pretty simple, right? I've been detained before because I made a mistake. I did something stupid. I didn't get arrested, thank God. I think I've told you all the story before. I was young. I was like 22 years old, 22, 23 years old, something like that. I got pulled over on Easter Sunday, and the state trooper asked me for my license and registration. I went to go get it. I wasn't thinking. I just got off the phone with, with my soon-to-be wife, Mrs. Renegade, and I was distracted, and I went to go get my registration out the glove box. I forgot that I had a pistol in there. So what do you think the state trooper thought I was doing? Going for a gun. Thank God, I grabbed the registration right out from under. I didn't even think, and then I just closed the glove box, and I went to hand it to her. She was reholstering a pistol. I almost got shot. And as soon as she did, I was like, oh, shit. I am so sorry. That was my first reaction was, oh, shit, I'm so sorry. Now, she had to get me. She's like, I need you to get out of the car. She's like, you almost got your head blown off. I'm like, I know. I'm so sorry. I was distracted. It was stupid. I made a stupid mistake. But again, would the officer have been in that situation justified had she shot me? Yeah, probably. Hate to tell you. I wouldn't be here. But I got out. I got in handcuffs. I got detained for a minute. And it was she realized because I opened the glove box, grabbed the license, or I grabbed my car registration and immediately closed it. And then I went to go hand it to her. At that point she realized, wow, what an idiot. He wasn't trying to shoot me, but what a fucking idiot he was. And I was. But she handcuffed me, and I'm on the side of the interstate on Easter Sunday, spread out on the hood of a state trooper car in Louisiana, getting handcuffed. And that was fine. She wrote me a ticket. We chuckled a little bit after it was over, got the handcuffs off, got in the car, and I went on my merry way. Because I didn't act. I mean, even though I made a stupid mistake, there was not a single command that she gave me that I didn't follow. But in this situation where you're given repeated commands and then you decide to steer a car at a cop, whether you're trying to flee or not, it didn't. At that point, fleeing and eluding is a felony because you've already been told to exit the vehicle, like we said before. But yes, you can get undetained. I've been undetained. I've been there. Marcus for 20. Per the Tennessee tornado, you can be undetained, but you can't be unarrested or unalived. Remember that when you make a decision when given a lawful command by an officer, I accidentally deleted his super chat in fan funding. Oh shit. Did you? Did you? Oh, you mean on YouTube? Okay, well, I still had it on StreamYard. I'm sorry, Marcus, you didn't have to have that in. If you wait, do I still have it? Okay. It's all right. I still had it because StreamYard is supposed to, and typically they do, copy and paste. All the chats come through StreamYard. So I'm actually reading these and popping these up on screen from StreamYard. But thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. Thank you, dude. Hang on. I'm just going down, realizing that I had not. Staccato, Marcus. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. It's missing on the YouTube studio side, but I have it in StreamYard. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Marcus says for 5. Oh, we got that one earlier. DEI sheriff. Marcus for 2. That's a bold move, Cotton. Yeah, telling ICE to just, to go pound sand, to F off and leave your city. Yeah, probably not a good idea. They're going to double up tomorrow. Won't go the same for 10. You just know that the anti-ICE window lickers are holding up this soy boy as the epitome of masculinity right now. Oh, God, yes. Snarky to Stink Nugget, guard tomorrow. Yeah, okay, I saw this, like, they were talking, Tim Walsh was talking about activating the guard. What is he going to activate the guard to do? Is he going to activate the guard to manage his voters? Or is he thinking he's going to activate the Minnesota Guard to impede federal law enforcement? Bad News Badger for 100 Danish krona. I believe in the ability to move freely and peacefully to anywhere on the planet to settle down. I also know that's an impossible idealistic standpoint currently and will not happen in my lifetime. No. And hopefully, honestly, it never will. Badger, I mean, think about it this way. You can move freely and peacefully to anywhere on the planet to settle down, right? You don't have a right to enter a country. You don't have a right to stay in a country, and you don't have a right to become a citizen of a country. And for very good reason, we have lots of different countries in the world because some cultures are just not compatible, clearly, as we've seen throughout the entire spectrum of history. So, you may have a right to apply. So say, like, I live here and all of a sudden I want to go live in Italy. Now, if I have a U.S. passport, right, I have a right to try to enter Italy, I guess you could call it that. But Italy has a right to refuse me because I'm not a citizen there. I can't enter their border. And I want them to continue to have that right. They also have the right to, if I apply for citizenship, approve me or deny me for it. And I want them to continue to have that right. I want every country out there to continue to have that right to protect their own sovereign borders. Yes, in an idealistic world, we can go anywhere we want, anytime we want, and live wherever we want. That would be great. But the problem is that, let's be honest, society around the world would utterly collapse in a heartbeat. It doesn't work because there's too many differences and variations in people around the world, and some cultures simply are not compatible with others, and they shouldn't mix ever. It's like you can stay in your corner of the sandbox, we'll stay in our corner of the sandbox. We can visit each other from time to time, but it's important that everybody maintains their own corner of the sandbox the way they like it. But I know where you're going. Appreciate the super chat, dude. Thank you for being here. Archer for 5, objectively, they probably realized Trump will just send in military or insurrection act. Yeah, honestly, it's the leftist protests, the BLM movements, the Occupy movements, the Antifa movements, this new bullshit, the anti-ICE movement. This is far more the definition to me of insurrection than anything they've tried to make up about Donald Trump. It's not even remotely close. John Thomas for 5, Valiant, she's way on the wrong end of the crazy hot scale. Talking about the sign language thing. Nope. By the way, are we sure it's not an Asian male? Cine Reese for 10, as soon as ICE deportation started, the Democrats wanted this to happen. Now it's going to lead to something worse because the majority of thinking people are sick of it. Yeah, I agree. Okay, it's like when logic leaves the building. When logic leaves the building, what's left? I get it. And Marcus, I didn't forget about it. I was going to play it before we close the show. For $2, please play the Trump response. I know, I didn't forget. I still have it. Snarky says for 5, can Trump use the U.S. Marines or the Army to protect ICE? You can use federal troops. You can use the Army. You can use the Marines. You can use federal military troops to protect and defend federal buildings, federal property, federal installations. So, federal courthouse in New Orleans, a federal courthouse in Minneapolis, an ICE detention center in Minneapolis. You can use U.S. military to defend that property. Can the U.S. military run around with ICE in the streets? No, not really. But that's the point. The point is that Minneapolis police are supposed to be there. Local law enforcement is supposed to be on scene when federal agents are doing their job for that reason, to help with stuff, especially when they're surrounded by rioters and protesters and angry, violent leftists. But they're not. They're deliberately not there by design. So, Archer Merchant for 5, if an insurrection act were invoked, they'd probably take over all federal buildings and then have all Tim Walt's financials, access to their emails, etc. I'm thinking that, look, Tim didn't quit for no reason. Again, I think he knows he's done. I think they know he's got, and the Democrat Party probably put a shitload of pressure on Tim Walz to get out because if ICE is successful in cleaning Minnesota out thoroughly, or as thoroughly as imaginable, between now and the 26 elections, you could see some surprises in Minnesota in the 26 elections. And that's what the Democrat Party is terrified of. And right now, Tim Walz is a massive political liability for them. They need him gone. They need him out now so that they can start propping up whatever next piece of shit the Democrat Party has in the till for the governor's seat. Maybe it's this fruit in Minneapolis. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be Ilhan Omar. Who knows? I have no idea. John Thomas for 5, that's a libertarian view of immigration. Problem is libertarianism can only function in a civil society, and the rest of the world just isn't civil. That's exactly my point. That to what Bad News Badger was saying. Yeah. I mean, yeah, in an ideal world, that'd be great. But the problem is that I'm not going to say modern, but I'm saying traditional Western morality. The reason that the West has become the greatest engine of economic growth, the greatest engine of technological advancement, the greatest engine of art and culture in the history of the world is because of that, is because of its traditional moral center. The problem is Democrats have spent a great number of decades recently trying to rip that apart. Because, again, that's the only way they can acquire power. A decent moral society does not favor Democrat elections. So they have to get rid of it. It's as simple as that. All right, I got a couple other clips and bits I wanted to kind of plug in here. We've looked at these videos enough. Let me go back to my bookmarks here. I can't play the audio for this because it is a... Oh, man, that is loud as hell. Holy crap. But I wanted to show this. Let me make sure this is muted first. Xeris made a bit. I think I reposted it, but you can go check it out. People were asking about this guy that got shot in the face with a pepper gun. I want you to observe something real quick. I think this is also in Minneapolis today. Okay, let me back up. See this guy here? Back up. He's pushing him back. Look at where his hand is. Look at that hand. Where my cursor is swirling. This guy's hand is grabbing that weapon. He is grabbing onto the weapon in that law enforcement officer's right hand. He is trying to take it. That is a bad idea. You can see him there. He's still pulling and tugging. You do that. That is a sure way. Look at him. He's got his hand on it, fully grabbed around it. The officer wrestles the weapon away from him. He is lucky that was a paintball or a pepper gun, because that would have been his head getting blown off. So, oh no, these bad eyes, justified. I don't give a shit. Justified. Period. You're lucky that's what it was. Because let me tell you what. Again, go ask any law enforcement officer in this chat right now what happens the moment a suspect starts wrestling with a cop and tries to even grab his taser. That suspect is probably going to get shot to shit. Again, this is how police officers, local, federal, they are trained this way. You cannot do this with law enforcement. And again, the Democrat Party has created this atmosphere where all of their voters, all their little fans out here, all their little rioters and protesters think that they can do this shit because Trump, Hitler, and ICE are Nazis. And you have to go punch a Nazi. You have to stand up to Nazis and stand up to Hitler. This is what these Looney Tune screwed up people believe because they've been trained to believe this. It's just a bunch of circus monkeys at this point. Here's all the usual Democrats, of course. The killing of an unarmed woman by a masked federal agent in Minneapolis is a moral outrage and yada, 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 yada. Yeah, again, Nancy is ignoring facts. Yeah, that's really, really loud. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, she was armed with an SUV, you drunk old bitch. I love some of these comments, man. Here's Donald Trump's comments. And this is, we have this in a little video clip here. Courtesy Marcus sent it to me earlier. Let's read this. I have just viewed. Here's somebody with a sense of reason. Even though some people don't think he does have one. I don't care. Let me go over here. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis. So he watched the video. Because I don't believe anybody else did on the Democrat side. In Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. And it was. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. And the woman driving the car, these are two different people, was a very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe that he's alive, talking about the cop. Because, like I said, there's a clip, you can, body gets folded. He almost goes completely under the car. He managed to dodge a little bit after he got hit and then get that shot off that went right through the front of the windshield. Not the side of the car, went through the front of the windshield. Y'all all saw the bullet hole. He's recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety. But the reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. Engineered by Democrat leadership. I'll add that. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. Good for him. I find no fault in there. And look, in case you thought that he was one-offing this, nope. This guy doubled down on it. He posted it, and nope. I hope, again, I hope ICE doubles their ranks there tomorrow. There was one or two others. Again, here we go. From the left, as you would expect. Mayor... New York is so fucked. It's not even funny. This morning, an ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. Murdered a woman. Again, this is reminiscent. This is all the same stuff, right? A police officer, a cop murdered Michael Brown. He had his hands up and was saying, don't shoot. Let me tell you what, it took, we all knew that was bullshit from the beginning. Anybody with 2 licks of sense in their brain knew that was bullshit. Back then, it took weeks, if not months, to find out that it was bullshit. We found out that this right here is bullshit. We found that out before this guy even posted this tweet. And they still post it. This is my point. Democrats don't care. They're not talking to you. They're not talking to thinking people. They're not talking to intelligent people. They're not talking to people who can make rational adult conclusions on their own as a logical thinking. They are talking to their own retarded base. This is all they're going at. Only the latest horror in a year full of cruelty. ICE attacks our neighbors across America. Again, not using the word citizens, are you? That's funny. It's an attack on us all. New York stands with immigrants today. Yeah, the illegal ones. Again, which is probably how this piece of shit got elected, let's be honest. Get the F out. More video. Where's the one? I thought I had the one up. That was the ICE. Oh, shoot. I thought I had the one. Maybe I saved the wrong piece. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Here's the one we had to put in here. Ilhan Omar. Oh. Who's going to save her? ICE's actions today were unconscionable and reprehensible. I am beyond outraged. that their reckless, callous actions led to the killing of a legal observer in Minneapolis. Somebody asked in a super chat earlier, get ready for these little catchphrases like legal observer. And there it is. I saw this 6 hours ago when she posted this. Very, very interesting choice of words. And again, she's outraged over ICE, but she's not outraged over her own community, her own illegal alien community. All the garbage Somalians that put her in office that have been stealing billions of dollars from Americans. It's not, she don't care about that. It's probably why she's worth 30, 40, 50 million, 60 million dollars now. Suddenly, magically, out of the clear blue sky. My heart breaks for the victim's family who will have to forever live with the pain caused by the Trump administration's reckless and deadly actions. Again, the woman in the car should have thought about her family before making the stupidest decision in her life. It is her fault that her children don't have a mother anymore. And I'm not going to stop beating that drum. Everything that I've seen here in these videos, again, maybe there's something else that comes out that we haven't seen yet or what have you. I kind of doubt it. It's really hard to look at that clear as day, what you just saw, and she did it to herself. All she had to do was comply with the at least 3 or 4 instructions to get out of the car, to stop. Don't try to run over cops. The administration has shown yet again that it does not care about the safety of Minnesotans. Again, not citizens, but Minnesotans. Instead of protecting our communities, they're unleashing violence, terrorizing neighborhoods. How are they unleashing violence? They're there trying to do their jobs. The only people I see unleashing violence are your people. I'm not getting it. This is not law enforcement. It's state violence. It's simply indefensible, and ICE must be held accountable. That must include a full comprehensive investigation and legal action against the agency. Yeah, you know what, Elon? Fuck off. How about that? How about you fuck off? Snarky for $50. He says, thank you, Valiant Renegade, for all you do. Tomorrow is the final day on day shift. I acknowledged directive to second shift today. I will pay attention as I can by phone. I just won't be as active because you'll see 40%. I love this community in collaboration with that Park Place. Thank you very much, Snarky. I appreciate you being here, man. Good luck with the changing work schedule. Okay. I have to preface this, of course, as this is parody. This is AI. YouTube is very sensitive nowadays about playing AI shit. So I'll leave it there. But it is funny, and I think also very, very appropriate. So, Snarky, this is for you, courtesy of Marcus.
My fellow Americans, it is with overwhelming enthusiasm that I am declaring that anyone who protests or interferes with ICE and their operations is officially gay, big time. With that being said, go ahead and call your dads, tell them about your alternative lifestyle as a gay communist. And then, who knows, maybe eat a lollipop. I don't know what flamers do with their time, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines. Maybe decorate a bathroom, who knows? In either case, this is who you are now, and everybody knows it. Cat's out of the bag. Cat is out of the bag.
And again, for YouTube's sake, yes, this is a AI deepfake. It is parody. It's clearly parody. YouTube. So, and we've obviously alerted the audience to that fact in case they couldn't figure that out on their own. Any case. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out tonight. I think we'll call it right there. We're just coming up right on 2 hours just now. We will be back tomorrow night, and we'll have more conversation because we'll probably have a lot more information by tomorrow evening I'm going to check in with Ron Coleman, and we'll have Ron Coleman here. We'll be back on, Ron and I back on for the week tomorrow night because there's so much stuff to discuss. And I'm sure Ron's going to have a lot of thoughts and opinions to share on that. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you all for hanging out. And we will see you tomorrow. And take care.